Hello everyone and welcome back to Chronosplays Apollo Justice. Today, I think we have to go back to the detention center. Because, like, you want me to show Apollo's bracelet here, yeah? And here, Gavin has, like, black locks that definitely feel like the final boss of locks, so it has to be the detention center. Which means that I have what you were looking for, right? Yeah, because you were asking where she stands, and I thought you were gonna have like a stage or something. Unless you mean in between you two, which I guess that makes sense. But I don't know. Oh, that's actually kind of funny. What's funny, Chronos? Well, I mean, in the future, it still marked her age. So I guess she's still alive? Maybe? We'll try it. I'm just gonna need to skip through all of this stuff, right? Or try to. First was what? Gun? Yep, the gun. And what was the other one? Life was sacrificed. Oh, right. This. And we'll try the stamp. Music stopped. Troop Gamer's performance was very popular. So popular that he made commemorative stamps at the height of your fame. We were not merely the latest craze, we were an age, a golden age! It's all here on the stamp. There's Lasso, yes. Irk! Trucy Mother is missing, I hear. What happened to her? Wouldn't she technically be dead then? Or legally dead? Right? Because if her father was going to be pronounced legally dead in 3 days in present time, she's definitely legally dead. Well before that point even existed, I would imagine. I don't know! Part of his memory is still locked up. There's one thing you're failing to address. What's that? As you say, our troop was a world unto itself. If our leader Magnifi was so inclined, he could hide anything he wished with ease. But Mr. Wright... Then he would have hid a crime, making him an accomplice. Not a great foundation for blackmail. I mean, that's true, but we do know he was kind of blackmailing you with these letters, right? At least that's from the sound of it. If one of the troop members died in an accident and Magnifi covered it up, his innocence would come into question. Found the right answer, Mr. Wright. So I'm so close. There has to be something about how Thalas's death could affect Zack and Valent's relationship with Magnifi. I see in your eyes you still have something to say. How could you possibly prove more than you already have? Prove that Thalas's accident tied your hands so completely with a person? Okay. I don't think we have any evidence, but people? Do we have people? One second. Okay, I was gonna say, you can still show his age, but just right deceased. Like, you show his age, and we know he's dead, but he's deceased in the future, that's true. I get... We don't have evidence, so with a person. It's gonna take a little knowledge of the players to crack this one. The accident of death is actually tied both your hands, and this information proves why Magnifi held so much power over you. That doesn't help me at all. I have no idea. I don't know. I have no fucking clue. But we have to have the information or the evidence, which I don't think we do. Like physical evidence, I don't think we have any evidence for that. So it'd have to be a person, right? But I don't know how this makes sense. So, I guess there's three, right? There's Apollo, right? There's Trucy, and then there's probably Thalassa. Why is that, Chronos? Well, when talking with Zach, Shady Smith, it definitely seems to be implying that Apollo somehow related it to, like, these guys because he has the power, right? I'm assuming we need the bracelet for that. There's Trucy, who is their daughter, Thalassa's daughter, right? And then there's Thalassa, who's just the victim, and Magnifi's daughter. And Zach's wife. I don't know why any of that would make sense with this, though. So it's wrong. But what else can I do? I don't have any evidence. I think. Unless something's very obscure. It would have to be a person. And those three are... So just fucking pick one. Jesus. Just do it. Oh. Okay, so it's... Right, great. It wasn't a question of who shot Thalassa. Thalassa herself was the problem. What do you mean? She was Zach Gamer's wife, Trucy's mother, and Magnifi's only daughter. Irk. There was a terrible accident, and the two of you killed your mentor's only daughter. If that wasn't the key to Magnifi's power over you, I don't know what was. It was an accident! Get those birds and fucking rabbits out of jail now. Oh, nice. Blackmail. That's right, we do get healed from that. There's no proof, none at all! But Thalassa went missing, and your mentor blackmailed both of his disciples. It doesn't take a genius to put one and one together. Apparently it does. Dots. Ours was a complex family. You mean Troop Gamma-Ray, the master Magnifi Gamma-Ray, his only daughter, and his two disciples. That does sound like a recipe for disaster, doesn't it? Do not be tempted into faulty flights of fancy. Yes, there was an accident. But that's all it was, an accident. Zach and Valent's tour de force. The guns blaze, the bullets fly straight towards the beautiful body on the stage. And then crash, zing, pow, into everything but her. Now that is magic. It happened one day when we were practicing. Same trick, but with a new twist. And tragedy. But as for whose bullet stole Thalassa's life, we shall never know the answer. Thalassa disappeared from our lives, and Zax was bereft of his wife. Trucy lost her mother, and Magnifi his daughter. I don't know why I had a hard time saying that. And that led to blackmail, I take it. It's all part and parcel of the darkness that comes with when the curtains fall. The darkness. Why didn't Magnifi Gamma-Ray try to cover up the accident? It was his own daughter who died. All I can say is, it was a critical time for Troop Gamma-Ray. A passing of the torch from Magnifi to Zack and Valent. We all sacrificed so that it might be a success. Thalassa's death was the greatest sacrifice of all, yet, even when her life was extinguished, her present was not. What do you mean? In time we, myself and Zack, found we could no longer oppose Magnifi's wishes. Magnifi forced us to perform his art, for his benefit. I see, I guess I can understand. I mean, he did lose his only daughter, but do you not find cowardice in his actions? Huh? To decide to hide the truth of your own daughter's death is one thing, but then to hang that death as a guillotine above our heads. Things were dark behind the scenes in Troop Gamma-Ray, that's for sure. Does Trucy know? She was not told, naturally. Who would want to know that their father might have taken their mother's life? True. I had not thought of that accident for a very long time. sorry to dredge up old memories, but this has helped a lot. Not to find Magnus Slayer, I should think. True. After that accident, there was one who came sniffing quite persistently. A reporter. He called himself a newsman at the time. Often I spied him lurking about the dressing rooms, doing his research. Would you happen to remember his name? What's his name? Sorry, I have forgotten. But in the course of his interviewing, he became quite close to my partner Zach. I liked him not. See, his name I do not recall, but his scent, the cloying aroma of mint. Yes, whenever he smiled, it was far too often. Which was far too often. I see. Thanks for your help. It does no good to interfere with the past, Mr. Wright. You will not uncover answers, only wounds. I'm sorry. I began to notice a dark curtain hanging over Troop Gamma Ray, and I began to realize that what I had to do, I had to protect Trucy from the darkness. The reporter he mentioned, the newsman, I never learned who that was at the time, though I've got a pretty good idea who it is now. That smile and that sickly sweet smell of mint. The last floss, thin-haired, connecting Zach Gamma Ray to the world. Sooner or later, I'd have to track him down. Well, that's unfortunate we have to talk to him again. But we're all done with the past, then. Drew Studio. Oh, Sunshine Coliseum. Okie dokie. Drew Studio, then. Much nicer in here. Oh, wow, what do we have here? Remember me? Of course I remember you! Journalist meets ex-attorney in bar, end quote. Can I ask you what you're doing here? Mr. Mishram was poisoned and his daughters. Oh yeah, I know. And how I know, yes. It caused me no end of grief, to be honest. Journalist wishes he'd track down case just a little quicker. End quote. Were you on the trail of this case the whole time? Zach Gamma Ray was a good friend. Zach said something to that effect back in the Borscht Club. What a character, what a man. If all a little, no, a lot, no, extremely rough around the edges. Do you think I could ask you a few questions? Oh, you serious? I mean, usually the interviewer and not the interviewee. Journalists ask questions, no other way around. End quote. Fine, shoot, I don't care. People have been asking me all sorts of things lately. Alrighty. Well. I mean, they were still doing these forgeries all these years afterwards, huh? Just, I guess, I mean, it's all illegal. So, I don't know. That door outside. Vera might come walking at any moment if she wasn't in intensive care. Will she ever come through that door again, I wonder? I can only hope. Those 3 paintings. All Drew's works, of course. Which is to say, Vera's works, really. Or, to be more precise, Vera's forgeries of someone else's work. Of course, if you demand utter and total precision... Actually, there's nothing more. I was about to say... This is where Mr. Mishram fell. Never thought our 7-year reunion would be quite like this. Wait, you knew Mr. Mishram? I met him once, in court. It was a brief meeting, but one I'll remember for the rest of my life. Now that's a story right there, that is. I smell the scoop. Ex-attorney now down on his luck. Vienna's place, sonata of sorrows, end quote. I'm all ears, let's have it. Don't hold anything back. Did he at least get rid of that down on his luck part? I mean, that's covering up the truth then. Look at all the jars of paint and pigments. Why are there so many jars of the same color? My guess is they're sorted by age. Age? When you're making a forgery, it's important to match the age of the original, you see? Paint composition changes a lot over the years. Oh, right. Did you learn that in journalism school? Journalists relies on writing skill and imagination, end quote. As long as you don't do news stories by imagination, either that or they just bought a lot of the same colors by mistake. I find myself not caring anymore. That's an odd assortment of equipment to find in a painter's studio. Of course, it makes more sense when you know they are making forgeries. I guess that's why they never took visitors here. Wouldn't really want people seeing all this. Yeah, in fact, I was the first human being ever to set foot inside the studio. Other than Mr. Mishram, of course. Oh, and Vera, too. And this is assuming that I'm human, of course. Which I do not assume you're human. Yeah, I'm beginning to have my doubts. A drafting table, probably for making detailed designs of forgeries. You know what I think about that? I'll tell you. Painting should be done freehand. No rules. No restrictions. And boobs, apparently. Why are you grabbing your chest, man? And you really think a line drawn by rules is going to move anyone? I smell a letter to the editor. Could you write an article with a ruler? End quote. Don't you want a ruler to write the address on your blackmail letter straight? That's what I think. You can quote me on it. You could drop this guy on a deserted island and you wouldn't get bored. Yeah, I guess. Let's take a close look at that desk. Objection! Yeah, exactly. I just have to do that when I see this pose. Can't believe it's been 7 years. It actually hasn't been 7 years. You yelled objection in the first trial, did you not? I have to stop torturing myself with these things. I know. I'll just pretend it's saying something else. Post office? Why, it's right over there. Good day, sir. A picture of a young Mr. Misham and a very young Vera. They're smiling. They look happy. Of course, now Mr. Misham's passed away, and Vera's on death's door in the hospital. Guess I'll just do what I can and hope it's enough. No clues. What? This frame. What? Okay, that's weird. This frame looks even smaller sitting next to that photo. Just the right size for a commemorative stamp, indeed. A commemorative stamp put there by a daughter that killed her father. Sometimes life just sucks. This envelope's from the client who requested the forgery. Just think, if that had gotten lost in the mail, I'd still be wearing my attorney's badge. Yeah? Alright. So nothing else, it looks like. Family of forgers. It's tragic what happened to Drew Misham and his daughter. Forgery is a serious crime and they pay the price. You know what really did them in though, don't you? Yeah, the poison. A forged diary page. Then I interviewed him. I found out something about Mr. Misham I hadn't known. What's that? You know, he always felt like he was being watched. Every day for 7 years. Walls have eyes, potatoes have eyes. End quote. Being watched? You mean he felt guilty? No, I'm not talking about feelings here. You know, I felt watched too. The whole time I've been on this case, no less. Journalist gets tingly sensation on the back and neck. Freaks out. End quote. Because you felt guilty. Why would I feel guilty? Felt like you were being watched, huh? I wonder what that all means. Paranoia. Drew Misham felt like he was being watched, and you also along with him. You sure it wasn't just nerves? Nerves now, it's nothing so mundane. I stopped paying attention to my nerves a long time ago. But I felt it too. Journalists sure he is being watched, end quote. Don't you wonder why Zach Gamer got rubbed out after 7 years? Right after coming into my contact with me? He completely vanishes from the courtroom. Then, for 7 years, he talks to no one, not a soul. Then, just as the remaining time was almost up, he contacts me in order to have this made. And then he dies. Starting to put the pieces together, are we? You're being watched this whole time. Maybe not just me, maybe you were too. Me? Interesting. I met Zach through that case, yeah, actually. You mean the shooting of Magnifique Gamery? No, before that. It's not widely known. You mean the accident during the quick draw shooting practice. My, you're well informed. You should have seen me back then. I dug up quite a scoop. I wanted it all. Money, fame, women, a little puppy, all for me. I was younger then, and my days and nights smelled of fresher mint than they do now. Valley Gamery did mention one particularly nosy reporter. In fact, I was on close speaking terms with Magnifique Gamer at the time. I knew his daughter too, of course. Thalassa, was it? Really? Then Thalassa disappeared, quite suddenly at that. And Magnifique wouldn't say a word about it. Yeah, my evil habit got the better of me. Journalist catches scent of scoop, goes on feeding frenzy. End quote. I set up a one-on-one interview with Thalassa's husband, see? Zach Gamery. Something strange was in the air over at Troop Gamery on those days. The whole screwy mentor, controlling disciples scene started by then, I'm guessing. Thalassa, she was part of it all, right? Come on, you can tell me. Off the record. Sorry, I don't know. Well, anyways, I kept prying and eventually became friends with Zach. Sure, he punched me once or twice, or 5 times, but I liked it, and over time he came to see me as a confidant. He's been waiting this whole time, 7 years, huh? Waiting? For his big comeback, of course. A big revival of the Magnificent Miracle, of course. It was all a dream. Because of this, the performance rights. In the absence of any official documents, he was golden. Who's to say the old man didn't give his rights to both Zach and Valent? So Valent waited until Zach died, legally at least. Time finally comes and Valent's like a kid on Christmas morning. He's getting ready for his show at Sunshine Coliseum, you know. If the document sees the legal light of day, it's going to put a bit of a damper on that big show. He's a sorrow on that Valent Gamery. Lost out of his partner at work and in love, too. Love? Well, it's the same old story, really. 2 disciples and the mentor's only daughter, which has 3 sides, all of them pointy. A love triangle. Huh, okay. That is pretty classic. When you're a performance troupe, that's your world. It's like family. Yeah, no. If you're trying to get with one of them, it's not like family. At least, I mean, it's not supposed to be anyways. Let's just put it that way. One of the entire high school's worth of drama, intriguing and backstabbing. And in the middle of all of this, Thalassa has Trucy. And then she dies. I need to find out more about Thalassa. Okay. Mr. Brushel, could you take a look at this? I hear you loud and clear. Loud and clear. So you want me to write down an article about this, right? What's the angle? Actually, no, that's okay. I don't need an article. I was just wondering if you had any thoughts on this. I hear you. I hear you. You want me to sniff around for a scoop? Well, you come to the right place. Okay. It's odorless. Thanks. Okay, that was less than informative. Mr. Brushel, no? Really? Oh, here. Mr. Brushel, I thought it was the same. I thought you didn't know. Do you know this person? No, I know this person, of course. I was friends with Zach, after all. He hit me a few times, 5 times, actually. But still, I never got his wife. Thalassa Gamery. Oh, Thalassa Gamery. Magnifi's only daughter. Do you think you could tell me more about her? Well, why the heck not? Okay. Surprised the stamp didn't work there, but okay. So, Thalassa married Zach and had Trucy, see? It was her second marriage, actually. You mean she was divorced? I hadn't heard of this one before. Not quite. Her late husband was a performer, too. Apparently, he died during some gig. Seen a fucking trend here, apparently. Tragic, really. They had only been married for a year. I didn't know. But she was a beauty. You still carried a portrait. I still carry a portrait photo of her around, you know? Yeah, it's the same photo that was in the locket. And I don't like that photo. It's kind of creepy. Chronos, that's rude. I know, but still. I know Trucy since she was little. She was a little thing too. She got the better deal, really. She got you for a family, after all. What do you mean? Just reminiscing, you know. The last I had another child besides Trucy. End quote. What? But Trucy said she was the only child. No, yeah, she. This one she had with her previous husband. Her previous husband. Her first husband who died during a performance. Yep, they had a kid, themselves a kid. Another orphan now. And that's another one who slipped through the cracks. No idea where they are now. Thalassa had a child. You think I could borrow this photo? Sure, I can. You can be generous on occasion. I also have copies. I need to look at that photo again, actually. Ah, yeah, bracelet. Okay. I don't need this locket anymore. Better return it to Trucy before I forget. People and events all get tangled together and get bigger and bigger. Don't you think? I was too busy wondering about bigger to listen to what you were saying. Sometimes you just gotta accept that you won't be able to untangle it all. Nice. Maybe so, but still. I have to do what I can. I have to tell what I find to those who come next. Next, you say? I'm not the one who will close the curtain on this play. Apparently, that's not my role anymore. Magnifi. I was just wondering what Magnifi would think of all this. What do you mean? Haven't you seen it in Trucy? He's got his power. You mean how I can't lie to Trucy? It was the same with Magnify. And with his daughter, Thalassa. It's a strange thing. You think it's some gamma race gene? Magnify told me once, back when Zack married to Thalassa. He said Zack had good eyes, but not good like gamma ray's eyes. Not that good. What? Okay. I wonder if Zack ever played a game of poker with his wife. Who knows what the gamma ray secret was? Well, maybe nobody. Now that Zack's gone. Zack gamma ray. Okay. So Apollo is the son of Thalassa from her first marriage. So he's half brothers of Trucy. What a coincidence! They all met up like this. No, the plot has finally begun to reveal itself. It spread from a warp in the gamma ray fabric and grew, swallowing everything, warping itself around the gamma ray's power. That should be enough to finish Zack's thing. Power which passed from Magnific Gamma Ray to Thalassa in the next generation, and I would once again need to meet this guy, the one who bridged it all together. So yeah, I need to go back to the Borscht Bowl Club. So we're done with Drew Studios. That was fairly easy. Then again, he's very forthcoming with information for the most part. Here. Okay. The Gamma Ray Secret. I've forgotten. Gun? Yeah, okay. I've actually forgot which one comes first. Okay, what was the second one? There's someone else. Oh yeah, this is the one we needed, right? It was Apollo. Yeah, and then we need to get the bracelet. I don't know why my brain shut off there. It's very simple. We did this like twice last episode. We probably did it once this episode. Of times blending together for me. Actually, I know something. Your marriage to Thalassa was her second. How'd you know this? Her first husband, he died a year after they were wed, yes? Also, how is this happening? Are we time traveling? What's going on? He was a performer. They met when he joined Gamma Rays as a guest in our show. After Thalassa wed him, she left the troupe for a while. And you say she had a child then? I have a photograph of her here. I couldn't help notice that she was wearing what she was wearing when I saw this. Those bracelets stand out. They are Gamma Ray heirlooms. This boy wears a bracelet just like this one in the picture. What? So, that's why. Why what, Mr. Zack? I took this photograph of Thalassa before she left us. When she returned, she wore only one bracelet. I bet I know where that other one went. She gave it to this boy, her son. Oh, I didn't even see that one down there. The Gamma Ray Secret. This strange power, I myself do not know from where it comes. Yet the fact is that it passed down the Gamma Ray line. It runs in the veins. What is it? I asked her, Thalassa, that once. It is what she told me. This is what she told me. Her power responds to tension in the others. Tension? If she were to face a person, and they become tense, even slightly, then she would know, no matter how hard they tried to hide it from her. Though she could see it. Not quite. This is the strangest part of it all. She wouldn't realize that she was subconsciously detecting this tension, without the use of the particular object, or in her case, objects. Objects, wait. Were they something that she was wearing, or was she wore? Yeah, her bracelets. Yes, her bracelets. I missed the first time I saw one of those. I felt there was more to it than just fashion. But what kind of power could a bracelet have? They vibrate. I have made a decision. I will tell you all I know. Consider it a gift. Oh, Trucy and Apollo. Well, I hardly need you to tell me at this point, but those two are brother and sister, yes. And the brother, too, has this power as theirs. So Trucy has an older brother. So you have a sister. I wonder what will come of that. Mr. Wright, tonight, after our game is done, I will return to a life of hiding. I would not see her live her life without knowing. I understand. I'll tell the two of them when the time is right. I'm in your debt, once again. No kidding. What I want to know is how all this got so messed up. Those bracelets are made of a special alloy. It is said to expand and shrink ever slightly in response to body warmth. So they're temperature sensitive or something. Yes, this is how they can shrink to the exact size of the wearer's wrist. Oh, that's convenient. That'd put a couple of jewelry manufacturers kind of out of business, wouldn't it? After the long run? No more resizing or refitting. This has something to do with the power? What have I told you? The gamma ray's power reacts to tension in others. When a gamma ray senses tension, they too become tense. And this tension translates into miniature contradictions of muscles. Minute. So minute they cannot sense it on their own. Their muscles? Oh, so that's what the bracelets are for. And with the bracelets on, one can sense these contradictions. Because the bracelet is always a perfect fit. And when the person they're watching gets tense, the bracelet feels tighter on their wrist. Precisely. But that alone doesn't really count as mind reading. I believe I understand how this process works from there. It's a simple question of eyesight. Eyesight? I guess that sounds simple enough. The eyesight. Have you ever heard of kinetic vision? Something about the ability to see moving objects with full clarity, right? I've heard of it before. I haven't. They say athletes can see a moving ball like it was stopped if they focus. Oh, but it's not confined to sports alone. It all relies on the ability to focus. When we focus, we can see many things. The faintest twitch of a face, the meaning of that lies behind it. Therein lies one of the secrets of magic. One must know the mind of the crowd before we may distract it. So basically what you're saying is, the gamma rays can see really well. For them, seeing is more than believing. It is knowing. Their power relies on eyesight combined with exceptional focus. Things are starting to come into focus for me, too. Of course, it is difficult to maintain such level of focus for any length of time. But what if someone could tell you when to focus? Oh, or something. Precisely. But wait, Trucy doesn't have any bracelets. You are talking about poker, yes? The timing of when the focus is so elementary, she probably does it without thinking. I doubt Trucy herself has realized this. That is all I know of things gamma ray. Thank you, Mr. Zack. If this boy's bracelet is the real thing, then he will use it before long, thereby awakening his power. I'll keep that in mind. Well, shall we play a game? Ah, I've said so much. Let me say one more thing. I will tell you of that night. That night? The night my mentor Magnifi Gamma Ray passed from this world to the next. There was 2 pistols, 2 letters sent. This was Magnifi's test. A test? In his last year, Magnifi Gamma Ray worked us to the bone. No, to the pain. But that night I could not shoot him. So I shot the clown's forehead instead. That is, this, it seems, was the correct answer. Take this. I give my art to you, Zack! What? Just thanks for playing along with my show. You shot well tonight, Zack. Though I would not have minded dying by your hands. How could I shoot you? You're my mentor. Bah! I thought you might say that. If I went home without shooting anything, what would you have done then? Then, of course, I would have given Valen his chance. And if I had shot you in the forehead instead, then it would be over. If you or Valen were to shoot me in the head, then I to the darkness would go, and my art with me. A fitting end, don't you think? Ah. Yet this ending too gives me no cause to regret. Thank you, Zach. And I'm sorry. I have done much that was wrong in my day. Seems that Magnifi wanted you to be a successor all along. That's why the time he gave you was earlier than Valent's. Perhaps, but it's not something we will ever know now for sure. I wonder, what is Valent up to these days? Waiting for you to die. If 7 years passes like this, the performance rights go to him. Ah! And now here I am, and his dream is ended. It's worse than that, actually. Public opinion's a fickle thing, you know. What? You don't mean to tell me they put the blame for our mentor's death on him? The trial ended when you vanished, Mr. Zack. There were even rumors that Valent had helped you pull it off, but that's madness! Well, it seems that before I once again disappear from this world, I have one more act to perform. Isn't it odd that sorting out my life should prove so complicated, even though I am dead? Alright, so that's it for you. That night, Zack Emery was killed. He died as Shady Smith, a mysterious traveler with a secret past. But he had left one thing behind before he parted. This. To whom it may concern, 7 years passed, I, Zack Emery, murdered by my mentor, Magnifi Emery. I apologize for the trouble caused by my sudden departure from court, and hereby confessed to my crime. This confession to use as I saw fit. Of course, he killed no one. This was his way of tying up loose ends with his old partner, Valent Gamery. Okay, so Valent did kill the mentor. But didn't frame Zack? I'm assuming we're going to find out at the Sunshine Coliseum next time. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all then. Have a great day. Bye.